But if we're gonna use your logic, Black American culture, what is it, y'all? Entirely stolen from white people. Like I said in another video, Cuban culture is more closely tied to, related to, similar to African culture and Africa than Black American culture is. You guys are far removed from Africa. Your entire culture is white people culture that you've adopted and made your own, because that's how culture works.
The fact that you could fix your mouth to literally say this proves the point that everybody loves to make when it comes to Latinos. Y'all practice racism and anti-Black racism towards Black Americans all the time.
Seriously, I'm gonna keep saying this until I die. American culture is Black American culture. It just gets filtered out and watered down and whitewashed until they can give credit to a white guy. Jazz, country, rock and roll, rap, all Black American creation.
But there is sort of an American culture, and these admittedly are downstream from race and ethnicity.
Well, I don't think it's paperwork. But I also don't think that if you're white and you've been here for 2 years and you're from Norway or South Africa, that you're more American than someone who's the direct descendant of slaves.
Are descendants of slaves really American, though?
Yeah.
What makes them American? Because they've been here.
They've been here and they've fought in every single war since our country's founding. So yeah, I think people who shed blood, who fought for the soil of our land, regardless of the color of their skin, are more American than people who got here 2 years ago.
Most of that blood has been white blood.
Sure, that doesn't change the fact that the individual who lost their life or who sacrificed doesn't change that fact. I mean, proportionally, Black men are only 13% of the population. So yeah, I mean, most of it is going to be white blood, absolutely. But there are brave Black men in my state, in our state, who have gone to war, not just in the global war on terror, but in Korea, in Vietnam, World War I, World War II, the Civil War. Their contributions matter just as much.
That's true, but predominantly that experience has been one reserved for people of European descent. And I think it's important for us to make that observation and not just count that out.
Well, you can make the observation. It doesn't make it, it's an observation. It's empirically true, But look, if you're someone from Sweden or from South Africa, and you're white and you come here and you've been here for 2 years and you are on an H-1B visa, you are not more American than a Black American or a white American who's been here for 5 or 6 generations.
I hear you. And we can move on after this, but I guess...
A lot of people talk about how Black people have an outsized impact on culture. I would argue that they are American culture, right? Every good part of American culture comes originally from Black people. Our economic foundation... If you read The Half Has Never Been Told by Edward Baptiste, it talks about how in the 1800s and the 1900s, we really benefited from heavily subsidized, essentially free labor, right? Slavery's impact cannot be understated in our ability to grow this nation at such a rapid rate. We owe them everything, right? And from slavery, from that comes all of the modern music we love, right? The blues, jazz, all born out of a time when Black people had no hope for the future, right? So they would sing, and all of that became the music that is loved internationally. If you go anywhere in the world, the American music that people are listening to all comes from Black people, right? So when there's any controversy about this Juneteenth, I really want people to think long and hard about where this country would be without Black people. Essentially nowhere, right? We definitely wouldn't be cool, right? Well, you wouldn't be able to go to a cafe in Amsterdam or a nightclub in Bangkok and listen to things that are familiar to you. All of that is due to Black people.
Y'all come up here and disrespect Black Americans all the time. Y'all come over here and disrespect Black Americans all the time. Do you know what's really funny about this? As an Afro-Latina, babe, what do you think Latin culture comes from? Since you can clearly acknowledge, right, that Cuban culture is more closely tied to African culture than it is of the Europeans, right? Because that's what you're really getting at, right? Like, oh, no, we're closely related to Africa. We're not like the Europeans. But the irony is that White Cubans love their whiteness, baby. Love their whiteness. So much so that they absolutely practice racism. So much so that they absolutely will usually deny any of that African heritage until it's time to be an asshole. Until it's time for you to want to be cool, right? Until it's time for you to want to really rep your culture, right? In your own countries, you disrespect the black people all the time. I know, because I started this off by saying I'm an Afro-Latina. Do you know how many Latinos that look just like this girl go through this whole thing where they first don't want to speak in Spanish to me and I can respond in Spanish and they will literally respond in English, and it's like, no bitch, I'm speaking to you in Spanish. Hablo español. Like, hi. But no, it's so hard to believe that, right? And then when I do speak Spanish, then what happens? You get the, oh, thank God, she's actually Latina. She's not black. But I am black. And I've been black my whole life. I've been black my whole life. I have 2 black parents. One of them speaks Spanish fluently. Or spoke Spanish fluently because he passed away. But again, full black. Both sides. Black on both sides. And also Latina. The same way that y'all can't stand that Haitians are Latinos. And the only reason that you don't like that Haitians are Latinos is because Haitians are dark skinned. That's it. That's literally the only reason. Because if y'all can literally sit there and fix your mouth to say that they're not Latinos, but Dominicans are Latinos, they literally are on the same island. The island of Hispaniola. Baby, it's the same fucking island. That's like me saying people from Long Island are not from New York, but people from Queens are. Babe, it's the same island. And as a Brooklyn girl, Brooklyn is also technically a part of Long Island, but shh, don't say that too loud. But I want to talk about this Black American culture bit for a second, because the fact that you even think that Black culture is white culture that was stolen lets me know enough. Who do you think taught white people to wipe their ass? Quickly. And who do you think taught them people how to wash their ass? And I know that it has everybody's head in a conundrum, but I really want you to think about this one, okay? You genuinely want me to believe that them white people from Europe came over here and taught niggas how to till the land? We ain't even speak the same language, but you want me to believe that they taught us how to till the land? You think they taught us their culture? And we stole it and then just made it our own? No, baby. I know that cultural assimilation is something that Latinos, especially white Latinos, practice all the time because you're too ashamed to maintain the richness in your culture as is. So you prefer to assimilate and to lose some of your culture so that you could be more liked and more palatable by white people. But something that y'all always seem to want to stick to and hold near and dear to when y'all choose to assimilate is to hate black people, because that is white culture. White American culture is steeped and rooted in racism, specifically anti-black racism. So the fact that you even think that black people are using white culture that was stolen, no, honey, no, you big fucking jackass. White American culture, quite literally, is stolen culture from black people and natives that were on this land. Country music, black people. Jazz, black people. Pop, black people. Rhythm and blues, black people. And then when we go over to the Latino countries, right? And we talk about the Latino contributions, baby, they came from black people. But y'all don't get to claim that as yours when you benefit and love to align yourselves with the proximity to whiteness and what you believe that will gain you. You don't get to play both sides, honey. That's not how that works. And especially not while you're being racist as shit. Because to fix your mouth to say that Cubans are more closely related to Africa and the African heritage than Black Americans, because Black Americans are practicing stolen white culture, is literally insane. You have to be a special kind of stupid, because only an absolute jackass would ever fix their mouth to say something that's stupid and say it with your chest and mean it, and then be in your comments defending what you're saying as though it's not wrong. Because honey, you're dead ass wrong. You're literally dead ass wrong. You don't get a pass for saying nigga because you're Cuban. Especially not because you're Cuban. I'm Cuban in Miami. As a white Cuban? As a Cuban that's a little fair-skinned? And I will say that I agree that no, Latino culture doesn't suck. It doesn't. And the reason that I know that it doesn't suck is because people like me. So no, Latino culture doesn't suck. It's not always that Latinos want to be black, because there are black Latinos. And that is my issue when y'all white Latinos come up here to say stupid shit like this. Because y'all love to act like you're not racist as fuck in your own countries. Y'all love to act like you don't practice colorism. Y'all love to act like you don't practice texturism. And then when I do shit like claim to love the African heritage of your Cuban culture, babe, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Seriously, I'm gonna keep saying this until I die. American culture is Black American culture. It just gets filtered out and watered down and whitewashed until they can give credit to a white guy. Jazz, country, rock and roll, rap, all Black American creation. And then you want to move to the protest side. Bro, not only did Black Lives Matter spark actual other things like Asian Lives Matter and Queer Lives Matter and Trans Lives Matter, but on the flip side, when racist assholes were trying to say, well, Blue Lives Matter, through humanity, what happened is it translated into less of a sarcastic thing and more into a genuine, like, support your nurses and firefighters and EMTs. So even the people who might be the most discriminatory, they gotta think of Black American for their own fucking views.
I'm so grateful that we're in a day and age where people are finally starting to keep it real. Finally. We literally created all of this shit. The whole entire system. There just wasn't a thing such as patents and all of that when we created it. So it was stolen. The whiskey that you're drinking, created by a Black person. The things that you use around your house, created by a Black person. Black American person. If you're a woman and you get your menstrual and you use a pad, created by a Black American woman. Like, we literally created all of this shit. There's a plethora of things that we could run off, but it was stolen. And that's just the truth. I mean, take a look around how our very culture is like recycled and reused and outsourced, and everybody is pulling from Black American culture. And this is why we get so much hate, because love and hate lives on the same spectrum. They love you so much that they start to hate you. They imitate you, they emulate you, they want to displace you, and they want to replace you. Destiny swapping. Just keep your eyes open. But they know. We even teach them how to wash their ass properly. I've seen some videos of white women saying, oh my God, I found Black women washing up, bathing TikTok, shower TikTok. They like, when they was little kids, they used to get in a pool and their mother said that they was clean. I seen another woman that was in the army and she said that Black women taught her how to properly bathe herself. A clear woman. She didn't know proper hygiene. Some of them was wiping back to front, not front to back. If you know, you know. If you're a woman, you know. I had a white friend. I'm just gonna keep it real. We was out, story time, quick story time. This is long, so maybe you want to press to hold it down for the 2 times. Quick story time. We was out and we was hanging out. We went to a bodega like in the city. Went downstairs. She sat her bare ass on the toilet. I screamed. I said, bitch, you better not ever sit your bare ass on a public restroom toilet without at least putting some tissue down. Squat. From then on out, she never sits her ass on a toilet, a bare public toilet. She learned that from me. Spread love is the Brooklyn way.
I never made a video on this because I wasn't sure if it was necessary, but the conversation keeps popping up. So I thought I'd take some time to explain why some people still hold the false belief that Black Americans don't have a culture. But first, close your eyes with me for a second and imagine a person that is Ashanti, that is Igbo, that is Bokongo, that is Mandinka. Okay, open your eyes. That's a Black American. That's a lot of powerful ancestry and culture. There are some African Americans that are also the descendants of Native Americans due to the mixing of enslaved Africans and maroon Africans with local Native American populations, though that is often overestimated. There's also the European ancestry that we have that we don't celebrate for obvious reasons, but essentially Black Americans have a culture of cultures and ethnicity of ethnicities. And over time, we became recognized as an overall ethnicity of either African American or Black American, whichever term people prefer to use. So not only do we have culture, we have cultures. And one of the easiest ways to look at the variation of African American cultures is by region. So if you were to look at the way people speak, dress, and eat according to region, you would see a lot of differences between Black folks that live in the Southeast, like me growing up in Georgia and South Carolina, and someone that grew up in the Northeast in New York, or someone from the Southwest in Texas, and someone from the Northwest. There would be a lot of differences culturally, but then we would all also belong to the overall African American culture and ethnicity. Now, the reason why someone might have the mistaken belief that we don't have a culture is really due to chattel slavery. Due to the legacy of chattel slavery, almost everything that African Americans create is considered to be something that we don't have ownership over. And it is something that is repeatedly taken and repackaged by mainstream white America. And this happens over and over again. A recent example is the different dances on the Clock app, where people were taking them and getting the credit, but it originated from Black creators. The same thing happened long ago with rock and roll, with legends like Little Richard, but people like Elvis Presley getting the credit even though he stole everything. So what you're witnessing is not a people that don't have a culture. You've just witnessed repeated cultural theft.
So this is going to make a lot of people very mad. Apparently, white culture has been stolen by Black people, and Black people have for a long time tried to make it their own. So you guys have been stealing white people culture and pretending and making the whole world think that it belongs to you. News for you. So this Latino woman, sometimes when I'm making these kind of videos, I'm just like literally shaking, because I cannot fathom the idea that someone can wake up one day, no research, no information, no truth, nothing, and go to their camera, switch it on, spew some nonsense, and post it. I am really, forgive me, but I'm really unable to wrap that around my head, that really it happens, and these are people that we need to look at and think are normal, I think it's very, very disrespectful for yourself as a person to allow yourself to be the vessel that carries crap and spreads it to the whole world. The whole world is watching, and you're speaking lies. Like, why would you do that to yourself? That is you not respecting yourself. That is you not being intelligent and showing it to the world and bragging about it, that you are no researcher, you do not base whatever you're saying on any truth, and you're comfortable with that. So and Latino people, it's not like we hate you here. It's not like we are generalizing. We don't do that here. We totally do not do that here. We are aware that there are Latino people that are sane. There are Latino people that don't even agree to whatever she's saying. And yeah, we have that at the back of our mind. So don't worry about that. Enjoy the video. So guys, Black people have done a lot than, I like to say, the world never expected that of Black people. I think Black people have been downplayed for way too long, that even when they achieve something, even when they do something and outdo themselves and outdo other races, it's almost like very hard for the other races to just take it in and to believe it, and to, they just have placed black people in a very bad place, such that anything good that comes out of black people is questionable. If, for example, we're talking about marathons and sports, when a black person outdoes the other races, they want to automatically think, oh, maybe they are on drugs, maybe they are not like normal. They just want to make excuses to show how they rate the black people and what they think black people should achieve and what they should not. Now, it doesn't, it's not something that is hidden. It's something you can see if you're keen enough, that it shocks them when a black person does something that is considered great by the whole world. And for that reason, they want to question it, dig in, and like just find fault, at least something to say, it's good, but not so perfect. If it was a white person, it would be perfect, white perfection. White equals great, white equals success, white equals excellent. But black, impure, black, not so good, black darkness, black corrupt, black violence. Yeah, those are the things that are in their minds, and they are unable to get over the fact that black people are more than what they think them to be. They're unable to get over that. I don't know how long it's going to take them, but this should never deter black people from doing things in a great way. And I'm happy that the people that are representing black people out there, they're doing it as if they're in a war, as if they are fighting some demons, which they are. And they do it so perfectly that wherever you are as a black person, you just feel, you feel so happy, and you feel represented, you feel sane because of that. Now, it would be very prudent for anyone who wants to talk about cultures to first of all understand how much the black community has sacrificed, how much the black community has shared with other cultures, with other races, I mean. Black people are not selfish, and if it was up to them, black people would never be walking around talking about this is our culture, this is ours, this, like black people do not even have a tendency of doing that. I like to think of black people as very, very, very reserved, peaceful people that just, like they have been pressed in this world so hard that all they want is just a peaceful environment for them to just exist, You have pushed these people to the wall so much that all they can ask for, all they want is to just be, just let them be. They do not want fights, they do not want to argue, they do not want to disagree, just let them be. Let them live their lives the best way they know how. Let them survive their struggles. Let them navigate, maneuver everything that is their stumbling blocks in peace. That's all black people are usually asking for. Just let us be, yeah? Now, it's not the same case for white people. White people and these other races, they're always trying to poke holes on things. This is not African enough. It is white, so they stole it from. Doesn't even make sense. Sometimes I prefer when someone is arguing from a point of information, but when you're speaking from a point of misinformation or ignorance, you are shaming yourself and your people and your family. the rest of your family. You're putting them in this because if they could raise a person that thinks like you, then there's really a big problem. There are things that do not even make sense to you as you're trying to even say it out loud. It feels wrong to you, but you say it anyway because you want to hurt someone, you want to hurt a black person somewhere. You have this hate that is innate, that is incurable, and you just, that is what gives you joy. You know, people that get joy by hurting others, those are people that we call malicious. Your joy comes from hurting someone else. Someone that is peacefully sitting in their houses, quiet, just minding their business. But you decide to just poke them and see how far they can explode. You're malicious. That is really what Satan is. Yeah? So, no such things. I would urge black people, don't pay attention to. Just ignore, when you see some misinformation or some stupid things going around, just ignore. Same way you're ignoring all the cries and all the calls for you to join in the fight for, complaining about Trump and his administration and his workings and the way the economy is bad, people are affording no food at all and no housing, no medical care. The same way you're ignoring that, ignore any other bullshit that is being said on the internet every other day. Because engaging in a fight with a fool just makes you the second one. So maybe just consider not paying mind to such people. And for the rest of the races, I hope that you learn. Maybe we accept criticism, but it should be constructive, not just criticism for the sake of it. Make sure that it is constructive and it's helping in a way or two, and make sure that whatever you're saying is based on truth, something that we can discuss, like something that we can talk about, give receipts, and show the world that you're saying this because of this and this. You don't just wake up one day and say, black people are the devil, and you want people to believe you and you think you have a point. Guys, subscribe to my channel. I will see you on my next one. Bye for now.